Hello everyone, this is My Life Wire, and today I'm bringing to you TvZ Bio Build Order in Diamond 1 level. So I'm going to show you all those Diamond 2, Diamond 3 players and below Diamond players. What I do personally as a Diamond 1 player. Maybe you can learn, maybe my action is not as fast as a Grandmaster, so it's easier for you to copy, easier for you to understand, maybe. Hopefully it can help. Actually, I'm inspired by one of my old YouTube video. It was a Mac TvZ Build Order guide. It was published 2 years ago. And recently I just started playing Bio and learning Bio from scratch, basically, because I've always been playing Mac for all those years. So I didn't have much game knowledge about Bio, except watching a lot of Hero Marine stream. So basically I'm gonna just share with you my Bio build for the moment. At the initial stage, it's pretty much the same as a Mac build order. You want to get a factory first in the barracks, and you want to get fast Hellions. You can get a factory on reactor, get 4 to 6 to even 8 Hellions to get a map control, to harass a little bit, to scout, to deny creep, and yeah, do all those good stuff that you already do when you are playing Mech. So the initial very early game is very similar to Mech, Bio Mech. They're very similar, but then of course you're gonna go into Steam, you're gonna get a barracks instead of factories. Alright, so this is one of my latter games, so it's definitely not a perfect game, but it's one of the example games, I guess. It's a macro game from both of us, so I thought it could be a nice example. My goal is to play heavy drop pressure. That's my preferred style. Back in the days when I played Mech, I was the kind of not really turtle Terran, but I was defensive and macro oriented, and basically I was trying to do as much damage as possible with the Hellion and Liberator multiprong harass to kill as many drones as possible to establish a nice economic advantage. And then I just, reach a state where the Zerg cannot touch me anymore. That was my strategy. But now I'm doing the polar opposite, like the opposite kind of a strategy. Just put on a lot of pressure on the Zerg. With a bio with drops. Back in the days I never drop. Anyways, so here you go. Got factories. Not factories. One factory. Swap them. Get it on the. Here you go. I'm gonna take control of the camera. And yeah, it's a Reaper fast expand. Very standard. I should get the orbital very quickly. Here, just build a lot of Hellions and get starports. And the Reaper is also very important. Don't lose the Reaper. It's if you lose Reaper, you're gonna lose scouting information, and Zerg can do something very surprising. They could just rush into roaches or something, just kill you when you're producing Hellions. So make sure to keep Reaper alive. And also generally when you scout it that the Zerg is going for 3 hatches at around 3 minutes, in general it is gonna be safe. You're gonna be fine. It's gonna be a macro build, but every now and then they do lane bang, bust, kind of stupid stuff. But you should be able to deny that. If you have your Hellion and the Reaper on the map to scout a little bit, I think you should be fine. Okay, so my build order, I researched Stim pretty early. You could also put the starport here to get early Banshee to be safe against roaches. That's another thing that Programmers does. Big Gabe does that as well. He gets 1 or 2 Banshees to get a cloak even sometimes. And here's my Hellion Reaper harass. So basically just checking what he's doing, what is he up to. Like seeing if there are a lot of Zerglings or if there are roaches on the map. If I see roaches, I would put down some. I'll put the bunker here and start swap these 2 buildings and start producing a tank from the factory and get more Marines from the barracks. Okay, so I get a 3rd CC at about 4 minutes 30 seconds maybe. Yeah, you definitely want to get it before 5 minutes. I think that's a good timing. And just keep Hellions on the map and harass, denying creep, being a little bit annoying. You don't have to actually kill a lot of drones. You don't have to just sacrifice them and lose them all. It's I think it's a waste. But sometimes it depends on the situation. Sometimes you can get a lot of drone kills. Depends. Right now I don't rely very much on Hellions to do damage. I just basically get bios, macro up and get bios units. Okay, so after you start this third CC, you can start also your additional barracks. Put the factory somewhere else, and you can directly put the barracks over there on the reactor. Here I was harassing a little bit. I got just a little bit greedy, so I got some damage on my Hellions as well. So, but then I guess he didn't produce enough Zerglings to fully surround me, so I got away. But it was a little bit dicey, I think. Okay, got my first tank out. So at this stage, it's pretty safe. You got tank, you got Marines. At this stage, it's very hard for Zerg to break you. Based on what he has. Also with Hellion, what you could do is to check his third saturation. He has a few workers. If he had 0 workers at third location, you should be really suspicious. You have to look into his main base and maybe throw down a scan. Maybe he's doing 2 base mutas or a roach rush. So basically, when my Hellions was here a minute or 2 ago, I was actually also checking the worker count over there. Oh my god, they walked past each other. Okay, landing my third CC. Okay, almost got surrounded. I think he could actually surround this and kill all of them, but he didn't do that. It's a missed opportunity there. Alright, another thing I forgot to mention is that at 5 minutes you want to have at about 36, 38 workers, ideally 38 workers. That's kind of what I thought was very important when I was playing mech, that you have a benchmark you can look up to. You can check every game, like every time you play, you check at 5 minutes mark, how many workers do I have? If I have that many workers, then I pass this stage of the test. So basically, let's check at 5 minutes mark, we have 37 workers. Why does it show 36? Wait, why is there a difference? What's going on? Maybe because I don't know. Is this the mining workers? And this include? No, it doesn't make sense. There's some that are not mining. Oh, maybe one is producing. Yeah, one is producing. Okay, I guess that's why. Basically, you want to have at least 36, right? 35 or ideally 38 workers at 5 minutes mark. That means you are doing pretty good in macro. So that's one thing I wanted to point out that I thought was very important. Okay, let's just follow my point of view here. The Hellion didn't get any damage, didn't see much. I just wanted, I rotate around trying to deny the creep, just to make sure the creep doesn't get out of control. And let's speed up to the later stage where we were before. And obviously you will get more money once your third CC is up. You can get additional barracks, at least 5 barracks at this stage. It's very essential, and get a reactor add-on on them, and you can produce double medevac. And once the medevac come out, you can do drops, and that's gonna be very fun to play. And I have so many workers idling. That's crazy. My macro was slipping. Okay, we're back to this point in the game. I was producing +1/+1 upgrades as well. And here you can see did a Zergling run by just when I was trying to drop, and it didn't actually do much damage because I had Hellions ready at home to defend. It killed 1 tank, but I think it's fine, and definitely repair that tank. Okay, now I loaded up that medevac. I'm gonna do a drop. And here, hotkeying your units, it's super important. This is something I forced myself to learn. If you want to play bio, you have to learn to hotkey your different units and to not use F2 A move, because if you F2 you just mess up the entire thing. It doesn't make sense to do multi-prong drop if you use F2. You have to use hotkeys basically. Yeah, you don't have to get rid of F2 because F2 is still very important button. It's very important thing to have because it can help you to defend faster and everything. Okay, I did a little bit of Hellion run by in the meantime. I could have synced all 3 attacks at the same time, so to make sure that these are not supposed to follow this medevac. That's a mistake. So basically what I wanted to do is to do a double prong attack and then add a little bit of Hellion spice in there. So ideally you want to time the 3 attacks up at the same time, so you hit at the same time. So the Zerg will have a very hard time to defend, especially at the low diamond level. And the Zerg, they just don't split unit, they just have to A move, and you can always get a lot of damage guaranteed. These Marines they're just wandering around. Okay, so I did my first attack from the top. I lost a lot of them because I was also distracted by myself. I was microing the other part. So basically what you do is to drop the Marine from one spot. Let's say drop the Marine from the top. You stim, A move, and then you just leave them and look at the other group of units. And then you stim, you A move, and then you go back to this group of units. And yeah, that's pretty much what I did, though not perfectly. Look at this. My control was sloppy. I didn't see the baning coming. And yeah, once the baning comes, you just run away, and then you control the other group. And look, he's on the high ground, so you drop to the low ground. And once he gets to the low ground, he didn't split his unit. He's a little bit dumb. And then you can go back with the other group of medevac as well. So in the meantime, obviously you want to macro, you want to keep producing units. As here you can see I'm producing 7 Marines at the same time, and I added 2 more barracks. And obviously I should have started +2/+2 long time ago. This is really not ideal. I think this is kind of sloppy. And also I should land the 4th CC as well in the meantime. Definitely should have done all these all at the same time, but try to do as much as possible without losing too much, without messing up too much. So make sure that your attack or your execution maintain a high quality and do as much as possible. It's kind of something you have to train yourself to do. And another thing to say is that you don't have to do real damage. You don't have to really kill 20 drones, 30 drones to get ahead. The point of doing drops is actually just pulling the Zerg apart and give them anxiety attack, add pressure on them, and just make them panic and make them forget to queen inject and make them forget to upgrade, make them to forget macro. And obviously you can also deny mining time, and you can always get some drone kill. It's always nice. So the point of doing drops is really has a multitude of meanings. It doesn't really mean you have to do damage, and which means if you don't do damage, you don't have to feel like frustrated. You just, even if you don't do damage, it's totally fine. You're getting ahead just by doing drops and distracting him and everything. So here you can see I was trying to sneak in the Marines again, just stim and leave them alone and come back here. I got killed by the paintings and just let them down here. It doesn't matter, even if it's just 1 Marine. As I said, you don't have to do a huge ton of damage. The point is to just do damage to harass and distract him. And here not much was going on, is because actually he did attack in my main base, so in my natural. So let's take a look here. He did a Ling Bang run by that actually didn't do any damage. He didn't do any damage because I had enough firepower to just shut it down easily. I landed 4th CC. It was very late. Nonetheless, you definitely need to get that as fast as possible, and also get sensor towers. Is really nice. Upgrades, I totally forgot upgrade. That was really bad by me in this game. Normally you want to definitely finish them by now. They have to be finished by now. I was super late in this regard, but you can never play a perfect game, I guess. It's only Diamond 1, so there's that. All right, let's go back to the rhythm of the game. Getting more barracks, obviously, it's always nice. especially when I banked up so much money when I was doing the double drop thing. I had a lot of money floating because my macro, my multiprong, my multitasking wasn't up there. So I was a little bit behind in terms of macroing, in terms of production. So I got the money banked up, and that's why I'm building a lot of barracks right now. And I should get an additional CC as well. But anyways, I was doing a push. Right? So let's take a look at the push. So after the drop, right? After the drop harassment, it's always nice to follow it up with a big push. Ideally with a +2/+2, but I have only +1/+1 as I explained that my macro slipped. So there's that. With a +2/+2, it'd be much more powerful. So he did a little run by, but it was not enough to break down this planetary. And at the same time, he just run all his lane bang into my aggressive assaulting army. Which I didn't pay attention because I was looking back at home, and it was a brilliant move by him, but there you go. It was not yet enough because let's see. So what you want to do is to grab to box a few Marines, scan ahead, and just to kill the creep, and put on pressure on him, and then pre-split all the rest of the army. The ideal situation is to not fight on the creep, but if you know the creep is already we're moving, we're advancing very fast, so we're on the creep is fine. The Zerg definitely have an edge when they are on creep fighting you, but it's fine. Try to avoid it definitely, but since we're already here, we have the high ground advantage, so I thought it was fine. Okay, so just split all the units. Killing the creep is very nice. So the creep, at least he doesn't have the vision. And here you go. He did this run by. He had the units ready here, morphing into banelings, and he ran into here. Even though he didn't do much damage, he distracted me enough so that I wasn't looking at this group of army. I could have split it even better. You know. Grab these units, click here, grab these units, click here, grab these units, click here. Most important, I could have stimmed much earlier. I stimmed very, very late when almost all my units were dead. I split. But anyway, just look at my supply by sheer macro power. I just had way more supply than him, which was not supposed to happen to a Zerg player. And I even had more workers than him. So basically, his macro was not really on point because he was on 3 bases. Let's check. He was mining only on 3 bases. His 4th base was barely mining. So what happens was actually I did a lot of damage. Look at this. I killed 41 workers during that double front drop thing. So that was great. That puts you so much ahead when you can do damage. And when you don't do damage, you're still ahead because the Zerg, you just leave them in panic mode. So that's definitely a great thing. So sometimes it happens. I'm very lucky. I got a lot of kills. I got 41 drone kills. So I got really, really ahead. And that's why I have a superior supply at this moment. So this game becomes very easy for me. Even though he wiped out all my units here, it doesn't matter. I could just get more units behind this. And he, on the other hand, had a very hard time to remax. Okay, so that's that thing. But once again, it's totally fine if you don't do that much damage. Even if you just kill 10 drones, it's totally fine. You're doing great. And remember to try to save your units. Try to save your medevac as much as possible. Just don't, if you can't do much damage anymore, just pull them back. Okay, I regroup and trying to build more. Look at this. I was banking up a lot of money again. So my macro, even though I said I was better than my opponent because I did damage, still it's not ideal. Definitely not ideal. In a macro game, it is a macro game. For example, in a mech game, you were turtling. You could have had more supply at this point. If you're turtling, maybe you would be on 5 bases already, just by turtling, getting tanks and hellbats, and stay home and doing nothing. You could have had more supplies instead of doing bio pushing, dropping, and everything. but it's a different style. I prefer this style right now. It's so much more fun to do drops, and it's very challenging. So you definitely have to learn to split your units. You have to load up 2 medevacs, put them on hotkey 3. That's what I do. Put on hotkey 3 and go to one place, and then load up another medevac, put on hotkey 1, go to this place, and just tap 3. Tap it twice and go there. Tap 1, tap it twice, go there, and just control them. So don't use all unit hotkey during the double prong or multi-prong drop stage, because that will mess up everything. And I tend to put, when I do big attack, I put everything on hotkey 2. And it depends on your personal preference where you want to put your hotkey. That's just my setup. Also, could help your brain to process all the location positioning of your units. If you put hotkey like on the left is this. Imagine if you had a group of units, you hotkey them as group hotkey 1, and in the middle you hotkey as 2, and on the right you hotkey as 3. So it makes your brain easier to process. Otherwise, in a pinch when you're in a hurry to defend or react, you just kind of you don't know which group is which hotkey. If you put this on 3, put this on 1, you'll mess up. So definitely recommended to use some logic in control, creating your control groups. Okay, let's see. He did a counter attack with lanes and bannings, but it was off creep, and I had a lot of reinforcements coming, so I did a very nice split as well with the Marines. So there's not much damage he could do. And yeah, basically my income was much higher, and he just GG'd out. He had no money. Oh, let's see the end. So at this stage, he had no real economy going on behind this, and he couldn't max out. He couldn't build a lot of units behind this. He's building 40 Zerglings, but yeah, I could take on 40 Zerglings with this army. Yeah. He would not be able to morph banelings in time, because look at these Zerglings, they're only a third way done, so they're not gonna be morphed into banelings before I hit his bases and killing all his drones. I would kill everything in the natural before he morphed into banelings, but he still had a fighting chance. He just just hide his banelings somewhere. He still had money. And morph them all into banelings, he could still kill all these, but then behind that he would just be more and more behind, because I would have killed half of his drones or even more, and I could just remax. So yeah, he left the game, rightfully so. And that's standard TvZ bio game. So basically, even if you don't do damage with the drops, it's totally fine. Sometimes happens to me too, that my drops get denied, got shut down very easily by the Zerg opponent. Kudos to the Zerg. They defended very well. They're very good at defending multi-prong attack. They were very good at multitasking. But then still, it's a mental toll on them. And just don't forget to macro behind the drops and stuff. Then you will be behind. You will be ahead if you don't forget to macro behind it. So get more bases and then get more barracks, and every now and then just switch to a production and build units during your drop, and you will be ahead for sure, even if you don't kill drones. So that's the idea. Okay, that's the build order and basically the entire strategy of a TvZ bio game. Maybe I'm gonna do a TVP guide as well sometimes, and maybe. Okay, all right, it's pretty cool. I thank you all for watching. I'm kind of reviving this channel right now. I try to put all my content on my main channel, my photography channel, but then I thought better of it. I just it's better to divide the content, not to mess up everything. So, and indeed, since I stopped uploading Starcraft on my main channel, my subscriber count has been increasing very steadily. So definitely, it's a good thing to split up. Have a very clean division, doing one thing on one channel and another thing on another channel. Don't mix it up, because your subscribers gonna get very confused. But that's a talk for another day. Today we talk about Starcraft. I could have transferred these workers, and I didn't have +3/+3. Could have gotten +3/+3. Okay, that's the game. Definitely, I had a lot of mistakes, a lot of things that could have definitely could have done much better. But it's just roughly to show you how it is to play at Diamond 1 level. And hopefully this has been useful. And thank you for watching. And see you next time. Bye.